We just landed in LA, you know what I'm saying? And they ain't got no rental costs because the city going crazy, so we might just have to pull out in that Lambo truck back there. So y'all stay tuned, and we're gonna figure out what we about to do with this thing, you know what I'm saying? Lambo trucky? About to check in at the NAMM.
Can you turn that down, please?
Man, NAMM 2020 was so dope. It was my very first experience at NAMM. I got to see everything from all the software creators that I use to the hardware creators. Everybody that, you know, builds guitars was there, drums, anything and everybody dealing with music was present at NAMM over the weekend. NAMM stands for National Association of Music Merchants. So you just imagine a huge marketplace and meeting place of anybody and everybody who does music, producers, engineers, and everything that I just named. The reason I went a lot was to learn and to network. Now, of course, NAMM is all about the gear, but even more importantly was the networking. So I got to meet a lot of people. A lot of y'all Wavy Seals was there too. So shout out to y'all if I saw you. And if you weren't there, I'll see you there next year for sure. Now, I know y'all been hearing a lot of announcements already, and probably the biggest announcement buzzing around has been this Lunar software from Universal Audio. It was definitely a huge deal at NAMM, and we'll talk about that later because I really want to kind of get in depth on that. But there was so much other cool stuff I saw.
If you're more into the 21st century and you are not afraid of Bluetooth, you can use this, and it's not a Bluetooth microphone then, it's an all analog audio circuitry. But what you do is you control your microphone over an app.
Austria Audio showed me a really cool microphone design that basically allows you to change the polar pattern via an app that connects to the microphone through Bluetooth. They're getting really experimental with it, and I think that there is definitely some promise in the future for this type of technology. So basically, the Bluetooth chip, you connect it to the microphone, and you can change the polar pattern from figure 8 to omni and everything in between, so that maybe if you have the microphone sitting on a huge boom in your live room, you don't have to climb a ladder or something to change the polar pattern. Now, this company has even taken that a step further and has a dual output, which allows you to actually adjust the polar pattern in post via their own proprietary software. This is definitely a cool concept, and I was very impressed to see this type of technology being added to a microphone. I also ran into an old buddy of mine walking the NAMM floor. His name was Ryan Gilligan, man. We used to work at Quad Studios together, and he's working on something really cool with his company called Perspective. Basically, it's a virtual reality mixing controller, man. Some kind of way using the Oculus, and it's very intuitive. You basically put the Oculus headset on and you grab the remotes, and this connects with multiple DAWs like Pro Tools, Logic, and a few others that he mentioned. I can't remember them all right now, but it connects and works with the DAWs that you already have, and it basically puts you in this submersive environment where you can move your hands to add delays and reverbs, and it has this visual mixing that you can do, you know, if you just grab the vocal out of midair and turn it up by moving it up, or pan something by moving it to the left, by actually getting, you know, real movement in the studio. So one of the that was so cool, because especially coming from the last thing that we just talked about, allows you to basically stay in your seat a little bit longer and change the polar pattern of your microphone without getting up. Actually getting out of your seat and being more physical with your mix could be really cool. Now, it definitely seems like a novelty, and it was hella fun. Like, I did not want to stop. I probably played with this thing for like 30 minutes. It was so much fun, and it just gives a whole new perspective on mixing. Very immersive. And like, I'm just excited about that technology for real. I'm probably gonna be getting that soon. I'm I don't know how it's gonna work out in the studio, but probably for like doing some automation and getting creative. You can even produce using this software. That you can go in there and virtual reality on the drum pad. Man, it was really awesome. I also got a chance to sit down with my buddy Gaurav over at the Avid exhibit, and he was showing me Avid's newest feature called folder tracks. Folder tracks works pretty much just like a Submaster would, but it helps you to keep your session a whole lot more organized because you can easily just select a range of tracks, like, you know, all of the drum tracks, kick, snare, hi-hat, vocals, and fold them into a folder, and then use that folder to affect all those tracks, process all of them via one fader. Ultimately, again, like I said, it's just like setting up a Submaster and then hiding all the individual tracks, but I still think it's just a nifty feature to have, and it's gonna save you a little more time in the studio and help you to stay a little bit more organized. So I like having new features like that. It's pretty cool. So we're about to get a little Atmos demo real quick, and I'm interrupting, so I'm gonna stop this video. Dolby Atmos was all over this event. If you're not familiar with Dolby Atmos, it's basically like the next evolution of surround sound. It's speakers all up top of you, behind you, all around you, man. Y'all check out that stuff, but it's the evolution into submersive audio, making audio more submersive. Engineers are now mixing albums in Atmos, and, you know, stuff for pictures and video games are also going to be mixed in Atmos. A few different exhibits had Atmos setups. I know Avid had an Atmos demo, Focal had an Atmos demo, ATC speakers had an Atmos demo. I kind of went to all three of them to get a little taste of what was going on. Focals was probably the one where I could, that was like the best setup because of where it was positioned. Again, when you're on that NAMM floor, you're trying to listen to some speakers to test them out, or listen to a microphone to test it out when there's 50,000 people like doing the same thing right next to you. It makes it a little bit hard, but Dolby Atmos is really promising. I'm not sure personally how, you know, quickly it will take off in the industry, especially for consumers, but it is something interesting to think about and to kind of start to learn about, because we're definitely going to be getting more and more submersive with the audio, especially with stuff like, you know, virtual reality gaming being a huge factor now. Many of our favorite engineers and producers were there just wandering around the showroom floor. Not just me, baby. But I did get a chance to meet with Derek Ali, who's worked on a bunch of Kendrick Lamar's stuff, Guru, who's Jay-Z's engineer, and who else did I meet? Dave Pensado, Chris Lord Algie, and so many more people, man. Rupert Neve, I met Rupert Neve. It was a lot of fun, man. And of course, there were microphones. Lots of microphones. Microphones. Everywhere. Everywhere. Everywhere.
Can you turn that down, please?
Sabian even had a guy there hand making cymbals, man. That was dope. I didn't even know that that's how cymbals were made, so I learned something new just by walking around at NAMM. What's poppin', y'all? We are at NAMM day 2, for me at least. So let's go ahead and check this thing out.
Can you turn that down, please?
It definitely looks like PreSonus wants to get into the live audio world even more, as they had a bunch of live mixers and stage boxes that resemble a lot of the Behringer line. So there's going to be some new competition and new options in that market as well. I also spoke with a rep from SSL who assured me that their new audio interface, the SSL2 and the SSL2 Plus, there's nothing wrong with them, okay, guys? Yes, it's just $229. I like the fact that they're making this affordable for the home and project studio owner to have great audio recordings. I even played around a little bit with the SSL6. I'm still thinking about getting that, man. I promise I want to check it out in my studio. Yo, SSL, man, send your boy one of them. Send me one of them. Make sure y'all like and comment on this video so I can go and try that out for y'all, all right? Day 2, Wavy crew live at NAMM. Been checking out some dope stuff. We just left the SSL booth. And, we're gonna go see Quincy Jones in a minute down at the Avid booth, so y'all stay tuned. Bye.
Can you turn that down, please?
When I say NAMM has everything, I mean everything, man. They even had a road case that you could sleep in. They had a TV in that joint. It's surround sound inside of it, man. Crazy, man. They crazy.
Lunar requires an Apollo interface to function and is completely free.
We're about to check out Lunar. It's more than a doll, they say. That's what they say. Let's see. Let's talk Lunar. I know that that's what's on everybody's mind. Basically, Universal Audio introduced a recording system, aka a DAW, okay? But they say it's more than a DAW. It's not just a DAW. It's a fully integrated recording system that integrates the Apollo hardware with the Lunar software to create this new experience that it gives you an analog style workflow in the digital realm. Now, some of the key features about this that I think are really important here is A, this software is going to be free to anybody who currently has an Apollo Twin or any of the Arrows or Apollo interfaces, whatever. If you got the Arrow or Apollo interface, it's going to be free to you. All you got to do is download it in the spring when it becomes available. Another benefit of this is that there are going to be analog summing emulation from Neve, okay? So you're gonna be able to take your mix and run it through this analog Neve summing emulation that ultimately has been very famous on the Neve console for years. And I was actually thinking about buying a Neve summing amp, so this really excites me. I talked with one of the main engineers here, and one thing that they don't mention, that they haven't mentioned yet, is that you're gonna have to pay extra for that summing ability, okay? So yes, the software is going to be free for the main part, but all these different add-ons, you definitely going to have to pay for them. Now, they also introduced a few new virtual instruments that can be used only within the Lunar system.
Took out the schematics, analyzed the whole thing, and then, and it sounds just like a Mini Moog. There's some feedback features of the Mini Moog that I don't know about it, but there's a feedback feature that nobody else's version of a Mini Moog can do, right? So we took this plugin to Moog, right, and said, hey, here it is, go play with it. And they said we were the only one that emulated whatever weird feedback thing the Mini Moog did. Again,
one of them specifically is going to be the Moog. Or the Moog, however the hell you say it, man. Somebody gonna comment talking smack on my comments, but however I say Moog or Moog, I'm gonna say Moog because I think that's right. But yeah, man. So basically, they have emulated the Moog synthesizer, and apparently this is really great. They get the stamp from Moog to put that out, so we know that most of the time UAD's emulations are pretty spot on. I was able to get hands-on with Lunar for a little bit, and they do have some really interesting routing features that makes it really easy to set up groups and submasters. One of the other features I was learning about was that Lunar was kind of designed to get rid of tools, right? So instead of having dedicated tools for, cutting, trimming, and grabbing, it's kind of gonna be like that smart tool concept. all the time, to where all about how you position your cursor. That's going to help. That's how you're going to basically edit. So look for there being no dedicated edit tools in Lunar, and that's partially also because I think they want to start to use this also on platforms like an iPad, where you could do this fully integrated system and kind of have a remote setup using Lunar. Man, I learned so much about this from talking with one of the main engineers. At its launch, Lunar won't support any control surfaces, and there'll probably be a few other key features missing that you're used to having. Inserts, there'll only be 8 inserts per track, and 4 or 8 sends is what I was told. So I was really wondering why they just didn't go with 10 like, you know, other DAWs currently have. But you know, they'll definitely be working out the kinks. Lunar learns the way that its users interact with the GUI. So Universal Audio will be able to make adjustments in the future renditions of Lunar. So when Lunar comes out in the spring, don't just go and cancel your Pro Tools membership. Please, man, I'm telling y'all, take your time on this transition, because I think it's going to be a long time coming before Lunar is actually a staple as a DAW, before it's actually, you know, credible and usable and for most professionals.
To make beats, you know what I'm saying, Dream Team Home Studios, or you can book a music video with us. So, hey, photo bomb, video bomb.
We getting photo bombed out here, but it's all good. Make sure y'all come in there before we in there.
Can you turn that down, please?
Alright, family, NAMM was dope, as y'all saw, man. We just seen some crazy stuff. Some stuff that we might be using in the studio, and some stuff that might not ever make it in the studio. But I definitely want to know y'all thoughts on everything that we saw. So make sure y'all comment below. Tell me what you think was the dopest thing showed at NAMM 2020. And yeah, man, if you want to see more in-depth product reviews of any of this stuff that I kind of glanced over during this trip, let me know, man. But we headed to the airport. Sunny California has been good to us. Me and my man Rel, we about to head to St. Louis. What she said, it's like 10 degrees out there?
Yeah, cold as fuck.
Oh man, we out here 70-degree weather right now. About to head to the 10 degrees. But thanks for watching this video. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and be dope, fam.